Hello students, welcome to today's grammar module. We are going to study lesson 3 non-finites in class 7 English Grammar Magic book. Before we proceed to non-finites, if you recall, we had studied verbs as two types, transitive and intransitive, in the previous module on verbs. Today we will learn about two new kinds of verbs, that is finites and non-finites as verbs. A finite verb is a verb which changes according to the tense and subject of the sentence, and a non-finite verb is a verb which does not change regardless of the tense or subject of the sentence. In the examples given on the screen, I go to school by bus. She goes to school by bus. The verb go undergoes a change and therefore is a finite verb. We go to the zoo to see animals. He goes to the zoo to see animals. The highlighted verb to see does not undergo any change with regard to the subject and therefore is called a non-finite verb. If we focus on non-finite verbs, which is the lesson that we have to do, there are three kinds: infinitives, participles, and gerund. Some of you may have heard of these terms, some of you may have not. Let us look into these individually. Infinitives are those verbs basically which comprise of the word to plus the verb. To eat, to play, to skate, to run, all this form the infinitives. There are also some infinitives without the word to. They are called bare infinitives. If we come to the uses of infinitives, they can be used both as the nouns as well as the object of the verb. When they function as a noun, they become the subject of a sentence. For example, to exercise is necessary for good health. Similarly, they become the object of the verb. He decided to exercise daily. He decided what? To exercise. So here they become the object. Further uses of infinitives, they can be used as adjectives. I carry water to drink. Over here, to drink modifies the noun water, and therefore it is becoming an adjective. There are some verbs after which infinitive loses its to, means you don't need to add to after the verbs like feel, hear, make, let, see, and watch. Some other uses of infinitives: if they are used after to, TOO, and followed by an adjective or an adverb. For example, the bottle is too big to fit into the fridge. Too, adjective big, followed by to fit. It can also be used to make sentences shorter. Compact over here refers to combining of sentences or rewriting them in a better way. Example, Sakshi was the only one who passed the test can be written as Sakshi was the only one to pass the test. The second kind of non-finites that we are going to study is called participles. Participles again can be further classified into present participle, past participle, and further you'll read about perfect participle. Present participle is formed by using the verb plus ing, the continuous form. That's why it is generally used in the continuous tense. The past participle usually ends in ed, d, t, en or n, generally used in the perfect tense. If you refer to pages 27 and 28 of your Grammar Magic, you will find a whole table of present and past participle formations. They are important and need to be memorized or at least understood, so that in fill-ups or in question answers, you will be able to supply the necessary answers. There are some verbs which use the same form in the past, present and participle form. That is, past participle and present participle have the same form. Example, bid, bet, cut, put, split, spread, read, hit, hurt, set, thrust, upset, shut, let, cost, cast. When you use these sentences, we often have children making mistakes using the word cutted, putted, that does not exist. Whether it is past, whether it is present, in the participle form, they remain the same. So you need to go through this table carefully. These are some words which keep the same form in past participle and present participle form. Now, coming to the perfect participle, as I mentioned, they are used when the action has been completed at some point of time in the past. Having lost his passport, he applied for a new one. Over here, having lost is a perfect participle. It just means that after losing his passport, he applied for a new one. So instead of writing after losing his passport, you have written having lost. That is assumed that because his passport was lost, he applied for a new one. The participles also, like infinitives, can be used for combining sentences. When both actions take place at the same time, then we use the present participle. For example, walking down the street, Sumit was thinking about his friends. In this case, both the actions were happening at the same time. Sumit was walking down the street and at the same time he was thinking about his friends. So in this case, a participle has combined both of the sentences. If the second action begins only after the first has been completed, the verb denoting the first action is converted into a perfect participle. Example, having locked all the doors, Ritu drove away in her car. This sentence clearly indicates that Ritu drove away only after locking all the doors. So that is why we have put the first action that has already been completed before into the perfect participle form. You need to be very careful when you are combining sentences because we need to ensure that the meaning of the sentence does not change. There are some examples in your book which you need to refer to get this point more clear. The third kind of non-finites that we are dealing with is gerund. That is a noun that is made from a verb by adding ing. It is used as a subject. That means a verb which also does the work of a noun is called a gerund. Example, smoking is prohibited in public. Here, if you look carefully, what is smoking? It is used as a subject. Smoking is a noun over here. It is also a verb, the action of smoking. So therefore, here smoking is a gerund. It can also be used as an object. My sister's favorite hobby is reading. Now here, reading, apart from the action of reading, it is also the name of the hobby that the sister finds favorite. So here also we find reading used as a verb as well as an object, that is a noun. Therefore, any verb which is also doing the work of a noun and is formed by adding ing, that is compulsory. Gerunds should always end in ing. So that brings us to the three kinds of non-finites, PIG. You can remember the acronym PIG if you wish. The three kinds of non-finites: participle, infinitives and gerund. Kindly attempt all the exercises given in the book. I have given you all the solutions in the following slides, but as I said earlier, go through the book, go through the video, use a pencil, attempt the exercises on your own and then cross-check with the solutions given. That shall be the end of this chapter. More videos for further lessons. Till then, thank you students.